Welcome to the 531, where we debate a top 5 list on a particular subject, further discuss it down to a top 3, and then eventually settle on a top 1. Now after this beat, we'll get to today's subject.
That we debuted last week. I kind of backdoored it in on you.
Hot fire.
I thought it was fantastic. Said no one ever of anything in their back door. However, this song, great.
Credit at CB the Nicest on Instagram. Follow him. He's got a ton of beats up there. He's amazing.
I'm already following him, just not on Instagram.
This week, we are talking about the top 5 Japanese wrestlers. I don't know about you guys, but if I wasn't here, how would you guys know who to keep on the list? I feel like you guys would just boot everyone. The greatest Japanese wrestler would be like Stan Hansen or something.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it would be Pegasus Kid.
well, Jesse from New Hampshire would be excited.
No surprise, but there are no round eyes on this list.
No.
Now, we're going to start with Jesse from New Hampshire. He's got the great Sasuke, Hayabusa, Kenta Kobashi, Mitsuhara Misawa, and Jushin Thunder Liger. Scott from Voluntown, very similar list as Kenta Kobashi, Mitsuhara Misawa, Jushin Thunder Liger. He's got Ricky Dozan. I almost hate to tell him he's Korean-born, but he's got Ricky Dozan on the list and Keiji Muto, the great Muta.
Yeah. Ricky Dozan, huh? That's a name that goes way, way back.
This was something me and Scott actually had kind of a discussion on because he asked if we were going off favorites or kind of like historical importance, and mine was a mix. I picked my favorite, but I also went with people that had some degree of historical importance.
I went for a mix also.
Yeah, same.
Even if Ricky Dozan isn't born in Japan, what he did for Japanese wrestling is huge, because I want to say it's off his JWA promotion that basically kind of Baba came off and went to form All Japan, and Inoki went off and formed New Japan, if I've got my Japanese wrestling history right.
Was he an Olympian as well?
I believe he was, and a sumo.
Okay.
Or he might have just been a sumo, one of the two.
Yeah.
I want to quote a wise man here. I want to quote Jim Ross. Yeah, it's fine. They're all the same.
Holy shit. Well, I will follow up with my list.
Yes.
And they are not all the same on this list. I've got Kazuchika Okada, Great Sasuke, Antonio Inoki, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Keiji Muto, the Great Muto. This list changed because initially I had Ibushi and Suzuki in those last 2 spots. And somehow I realized I forgot Liger and Muto. And that shows you how many big Japanese wrestlers there are out there that you could forget 2 legends like that.
Well, that's the problem. There's so many great legendary Japanese wrestlers.
Oh, a ton. Now, Jake brought us a list. He's got Kazuchika Okada, Keiji Muto, Antonio Inoki, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Minoru Suzuki. I think Suzuki's an important pick because he's that modern-day wrestler that really lends that credibility to the sport.
Yeah, the guy has 2 legit wins and actual legit fights over Ken Shamrock. That's how bad that motherfucker is.
I'm a little upset nobody's mentioned Ninja Go yet.
Or the Giant Machine or the Super Machine. Yeah, we're really missing the boat so far.
On a side note, have you guys watched that Bill Burr video where he commentates on Antonio Inoki beating the shit out of the great Antonio?
Oh, yeah, that's fucking fantastic. People should do
Yeah,
that.
that is awesome. Bill Burr should do play-by-play for the WWE.
Oh, God, I can't get enough of it. Look at this fucking asshole. He just punched him in the head. That's not even a punch.
I would love to hear that on Raw. 2 guys like AJ and, let's say, Aleister Black are going at it. Let's listen to Bill Burr.
I mean, if you just want a good
Monday Night
time,
Media bra here.
if you just want a good time, watch Inoki kick the shit out of the Great Antonio anyway. That's a fun video just on itself.
Well, I think they call him the Great Antonio because he was a great punching bag.
Next list up we got is Zach, who has the Great Muta, Jushin Thunder Liger, Ultimo Dragon, Jinsei Shinzaki, and Kenta Kobashi.
Two things. First off, is Ultimo Dragon actually... No. He is Japanese. He made his name in Mexico, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
because he went to reign with Toriman, I believe.
Right.
Exactly.
And Jinsei
Same place that Okada trained, I believe, too.
Jinsei Shinzaki. Is that Hakushi?
That is Hakushi.
My man.
Interesting pick. I wouldn't say it's not a good one. I'm not as familiar with him.
I mean, you got Dragon,
Well,
Muta, and
Hakushi-
Kobashi, and Liger, so, I mean, that's a pretty much who's fucking who right there anyway, so.
But you also got to remember, Hakushi had a much more storied career in Japan than he did in the WWE.
I think Undertaker
I mean,
might have...
it's pretty clear that WWE doesn't know how to handle foreign talent, especially 10 or so years ago.
No. Oscar's doing great now,
Although,
though.
although they did do better with him than TNA did with Okada.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, TNA set a very low bar there. I think WWE is happy they ever did that. Dave, we got 2 lists left. How about you give us your list?
I will be happy to. You know, in doing my research, I had not actually seen a lot of Kobashi matches, so I decided to watch one with him, 2 of them. One with Masaya and another one with Stan Hansen. And he is every bit as good as everybody says. And doing research, guy has had titles everywhere. He was the Triple Crown champion. So he made my list. Kento Kobashi's on my list. The Great Muta, who's been a champion in All Japan and New Japan, and is absolute legend and set WCW on fire in the early 1990s. He's on my list. Antonio Inoki, not really a fan of his style, but the guy's a legend. The guy can legit go. He had a match with Muhammad Ali. Hard to deny this guy's a legend. Tanahashi, the New Japan ace. I had to have him on my list. And also, just to be a little different, the original Tiger Mask.
Oh, Satoru Siyama?
Yeah, that one.
See, that's the name even I fucked up. I think it's Satoru Siyama. I posted a video of him today singing an Elvis song, so go find my Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Good luck. I'm not giving out my name, so just fucking...
I'll figure it out.
If you know, now you know.
Let's go.
Now, guys, I actually learned a bit of trivia this week. How many NWA titles are in that Triple Crown Championship?
2.
I'm going to go with 3. Shit, it's 2?
No, Dave got it, because anytime you try and fucking throw a curveball at him with some Japanese stuff, I feel like he's banging a girl down at the buffet, and he's got, like, this insider knowledge.
I just listened to the podcast of Grill and JR where he talks about Dr. Death Steve Williams, and they mentioned the Triple Crown in that.
Okay, fuck, I thought it was on the last fan. I'm like, there's no way Dave listens to the last fan.
No.
But you definitely listen to JR.
I do.
That's exactly where it happened.
Yeah.
Nobody knows more about Japanese wrestling than good old JR.
JR can talk about Japanese wrestling, all right? JR's a damn legend. You shut your mouth, hillbilly boy.
I know, I'm laying into that chocolate cake, and I just forgot all of fucking what shows I listened to this week.
Yeah.
So, AJ, we're giving you that top spot. Who do you got for your top 5?
Well, this list was tough. I mean, when you think about the great Japanese, to me, I started off with Sega Genesis.
Okay.
I worked through to Nintendo, maybe PlayStation. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Sorry, wrong list. To me, Kobayashi's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think that he is absolutely incredible. I love the fact that he's hard-hitting, that his side suplexes are some of the original stiff suplexes, the belly-to-back. Absolutely phenomenal.
He's looking this up right now,
so we're
folks.
talking about Kenta Kobashi, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna butcher the names. So be ready.
I know. I thought we had a hot dog winning champion here. I'm like, I don't even have the heart to tell him that Joey Chestnut took the title like 5 4th of Julys ago.
This is one is going to throw people off. I am a huge fan of Kensuke Sasaki. Always have been. I think that he's underrated when it comes to the great power wrestlers. When he teamed up with one half of the Road Warriors, when he teamed up with Hawk for all those years, and they did the
Power Warrior.
Yes.
Exactly. I thought that was a great tag team, and I think that he's an underrated Japanese wrestler, to be honest with you.
Hey.
Now, I know a lot of people had...
I actually almost had him on my list. So I'm a big fan of Sasaki too. So go ahead.
I know a lot of people had Inoki and Baba on the list because they're historical references.
Wait,
And
people
that's
had Inoki on the list. Nobody gave a fuck about Baba, but go ahead.
We gave it up to Ricky Dozan before we gave it up to Baba.
Fuck that stupid,
Yeah, but-
skinny, long arm. Fuck. He ain't shit. Go ahead.
But,
Hey, did I do Randy's list yet?
No, he'll main event. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Randy's going to main event. I fucked you, AJ.
Sorry.
That's all right. But to me, I didn't like either one of those guys. I thought they were both boring as shit, so they're not making my list. My third one is Masamahiro Chono. I love Chono. Always a big Chono fan.
What's that first name again?
Isn't it Masa?
It is.
What's his full first name?
Oh, I have no idea. I always say Masamahiro Chono.
I was going to say, I just like the way you said Masahiro. I'm like, oof. If they couldn't tell we were white before this, it's showing through now.
I'm a little disappointed nobody had Mr. Fuji on the list.
Jesus Christ, you didn't put him on, did you?
And he's not making my list either. Tanahashi is next on my list.
There you go.
I think, to me, one of the great workers of our time period. And
good hair on Tanahashi.
Yeah, I think he's going to go down as one of the great wrestlers of his time period. And to me, the greatest worker in the world right now is Okada. So he's making my number 5.
Big Dick Okada.
All right, we got Randy's list because I'm about to forget him again. He's got Okada, Tanahashi, Kenta Kobashi, Antonio Inoki, and that Korean fella, Ricky Dozan.
Hey,
he
he made it
read
in there
Lions
twice.
Pride. He's one of the patrons that shipped in on Lions Pride. He should have read it and known that Ricky Dozan's not Japanese. But I'm getting fired up over nothing,
I
guys.
like the fact that him and Scott are on the same page. I think that's great. Those two. I love those two. Anyway.
I know there's no way I'm going to say Scott's wrong, but I'm quick to say, like, you fucked up, Randy. I'm sorry.
God damn. Randy's part of our Patreon team. Randy, no worries. I got your back this week, brother.
In fairness, Scott might have a taser or something on him, so.
It's true. That is true. Never mind, Randy. Fuck that. Go, Scott.
I was going to say, that's my homie, though. I can't go against him, but
That's my man.
I want to say, if we're going to look at who moves on, it's Okada, right?
I think it's got to be.
Well,
One of them.
We got Kobashi's on almost everybody's list here, too, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was going to get to it. I just hit Okada first because if you go on wrestlers you're kind of thinking about, wouldn't you almost say he's like the modern-day Hulk Hogan of Japan?
Absolutely.
In a more talented way.
We throwing Muda as the other guy?
First of all, Hogan in Japan could wrestle his ass off.
Hey, Ichiban Hogan, #1. There's a song. Now, we've got Okada moving on. Who else do you see? I mean,
Muda.
Liger didn't make as many lists as I thought, but, I mean, he almost seems like a first ballot.
Were you more surprised by how many lists Kobashi made or how few lists that Liger made?
I want to say how few lists Liger made because I want to say Kobashi's almost an obvious to move on. He made a lot of lists, so we're going to move him on to the next round. But, yeah, you would think that with Liger's retirement this year, that would be more in the forefront of people's minds.
Listen, I love me some Jushin Liger. I was happy I got to see him live. But at the end of the day, on this list, I want the great Muda to go on. I think he's the man.
So you want to say it's Okada, Kobashi, Muda that make it to the top 3?
Ain't even a damn doubt in my mind.
AJ, can you make an argument for somebody besides Muda?
He don't want to.
Yes. I don't want to, but I can.
He can.
What about Tanahashi?
All right, well.
To me, Tanahashi.
Okay, since we've got Okada on the list, make a good argument why Tanahashi should go on besides the legend Liger.
So, here's my thing. when you come down to the two of them, do you have Okada over as far as he is if he didn't have the matches with Tanahashi? I think Tanahashi did as much to make Okada and to actually bring as much out of him as you can. And without those great wrestlers who can tell the stories and work the matches and bring stuff out of people, whereas with Muda, I love KJ Muda.
Okay.
Muto, and this is gonna be a tough one for me to not incorporate him, but some of his American stuff actually hurts his Japanese.
Hold the phone
believe
here,
that
brother man. Hold the phone, brother man. Joe, you're a historian here. How many All Japan titles does Tanahashi have?
All Japan, I don't believe he has any.
Yeah, I don't believe he has either. But you know who's been an All Japan champion and an IWGP New Japan World Champion? The great fucking Muda. That's who.
Dave, who runs All Japan?
Baba.
Or at one point has.
Right now, it's fucking. I don't listen. He's been a champion in All Japan, New Japan, and he's been big in the States. I'm sorry. If you want to put Tanahashi, that's fine. But then Okada's got to go. Muda fucking stays.
I'm not. Wait a minute. Let's be clear. I'm not saying put Tanahashi on over Muda. I'm saying you asked me to make an argument for somebody against him. This is the only other person who I can think of to make an argument for.
There you go.
And if you use that same logic, though, you almost have to elevate the Ultimate Warrior to a level that he might not deserve just because he helped make that spot with Hogan.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
In my mouth. It's like comparing. Oof.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you talked about him building up. You can't have a good, like, almost hero if you don't have a villain. And not that I'm saying Tanahashi doesn't deserve it, but in this case, I think you choose either Tanahashi or Okada.
I agree.
And we kind of put our bets on Okada.
Yeah.
No, and
That's the only reason I would pick Muto. Plus, Muto jumped in at a time. I mean, he worked with Gary Hart.
Yeah.
He came in just after Kabuki. He hit that major run in WCW. The only thing he did to hurt himself is never turn face because Gary Hart recommended that he would only get money as a heel.
Right, and maybe a few racist Southern bookers that were sitting on that committee, too, that said, ain't no Japanese guy gonna be no babyface.
Once again,
I don't know if that's how they said it.
I think I was there, so I don't know.
Once again, though, I reiterate, I was not saying Tanahashi should be on the list over Muda. You asked me who I could make an argument for.
Right. I think we're all in agreement Muda's staying.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you're ever going to be my lawyer if I need representation. Hey, look, I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying you got me here to defend him. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're down to Okada, Kobashi, and Muda. And I almost hate to ask it, but who do you cut first? And I know the answer.
AJ, who you cutting?
Oh, I cut Muda.
All right. Joe, who do you think?
Wow.
Who do you think we should cut, Joe?
I would say you would almost have to cut Okada because between Kobashi and Muda in terms of importance,
I agree.
it's really tough to kind of come off that. Okada is amazing.
Right.
He has set a new modern standard for that title that not many titles get. And AJ, like you said, if he didn't have those classics with Tanahashi, he wouldn't be the name he is. But he's also on the newer end of things. He's no Muda. He's no Kobashi.
Yeah, and it's not to say that he won't be in a few years, but he hasn't been yet. And this is about being the best of all time.
No, I can see that. That's fair. I'm more than happy to drop off Okada first.
See ya.
Me out of the three, Okada is not my standard bearer anyways.
So now it's going to be tough between Kobashi and Muda. And who do you guys got? Because I know who I got.
Go ahead. Go first, Dave.
I'm biased. I like Muda all day on this. I'm a lot more familiar with his work. At the end of the day, I've seen more of Muda. And, I'm just a big fan of the fucking Green Mist and everything the great Muda's done. Maybe, Kenta Kobashi deserves to be there. He does have a hard-hitting style. Just the stuff I watch with him, it is kind of reminiscent of the Steiner brothers and some other guys I really like. And I do tend to favor that style. But at the end of the day, I'm just a little more familiar with Muta, so I lean towards him.
Now, so the reason why I'm going Kobashi is not because I didn't like Muta. Obviously, as a child, I was a fan of Muta. I enjoyed the Green Mist, like you said. I love the fact that he did the moonsaults, the backhand spring. I love the twisting corkscrew elbow. But when it comes down to wrestling, my style is I love the hard hitting. Mm-hmm. I love the Japanese strong style. I love when two guys leave the ring and it looks like there had been a fight. And to me, Kobashi is one of the fathers of that. And he is one of the people that are responsible for that style. So,
he is. That's Misawa's neck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with either guy going over. Joe, I think you need to make the final decision on this one this week.
And to me, that's why I jumped in the second spot here, was because to me, out of the three of us, Joe obviously knows Japanese wrestling a little better than the two of us. So please, Joe, make up our minds for us here.
Yes.
I do know Japanese wrestling, but I am guilty of not being as familiar with Kobashi. I know he's important. I know the battles with Misawa are like things of lore, but Muta hits a closer spot with me. I've seen more of him over the years, and that's why I got to put him over.
And let's be clear with this. We win either way. Any of these three guys that we got down to the final on, there's really not anybody you could lose with.
And if anybody,
anybody on the list at all.
And if anybody speaks Japanese out there and wants to be our translator, I'm more than willing to try to get Muta for an interview. Just saying.
Yeah, man, you're gonna have to pay those extra tickets to Disneyland for Sonny Ono, though.
Oh, that's right, fucking Ono.
Actually,
allegedly.
Right now the tickets to Disneyland are pretty cheap.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, that's another week of the 531. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Later.
Guys, thank you for listening to the 531 here on YouTube this week. If you like what you hear, you can always find us on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and on the Apple Podcast where you can subscribe and also give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate you listening. We want your feedback, 531, and if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we also want you to let us know, and let us know what your 531 would be. Come up with a top 5 and let us know, and we'll tell you why you're wrong. And in order for us to do that, please contact us on Twitter. We're at Fans Working. Facebook page, Working Fans Wrestling Pod. Email workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. It's very important that you actually contact us on these platforms because we want this to be your interactive place to talk wrestling.